Scenic Hotel Group, a place to stay no matter your staycation. From the Legacy Collection, Scenic Hotels, Suites and Resorts, and Heartland Hotels. Find your place to stay at scenichotelgroup.co.nz.
In action later on tonight, crunch game for them, no two ways about it. They win, they're through to the grand final. They lose, their season is over. It all comes down to Game 3 of their semi-final series against the Tasmania Jackjumpers at Auckland Spark Arena. Tip-off is at 6 tonight. Joining us out of Utah is their owner and CEO, and I'm sure many other tasks he fulfills at the Breakers Club. His name is Matt Walsh. He joins the program now. Matt, how are you? Thanks for your time on News Talk CB.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, Elliott?
Very well indeed. A few hours out from tip-off in this crucial game for the Breakers. How are your nerves?
I'm okay right now. I think I can feel the nerves creeping in. But, to be honest with you, in year 5 of this, I've learned that, unfortunately, when it comes to game day, there's nothing more we can do as a staff. So, our players and our coaching staff have prepared all year. Our commercial staff have done an amazing job creating an awesome environment at Spark Arena, and that's why you work for home court. So I think our guys will come out ready. I'll be pacing around my hotel room later watching the game and screaming, but for now, I'm pretty good.
I was going to ask what kind of watcher you are from afar. I think you've just answered that question. You're a pacer when you watch it remotely.
I'm pretty much the same as I am at home games at Spark, where I just endlessly pace around. People try and talk to me. I mostly ignore them. I don't want to be bothered during the games. I just want to watch and I think tonight we'll be celebrating. I expect Sparks Arena to be awesome, but it's been a fantastic season, and I think, again, this is what you work for. This is why you go 18-10 in the regular season, so that you have a home game to go to the grand final. I mean, what more could you ask for? How
confident are you that Spark will sell out tonight?
I think it's going to be an amazing crowd. All the numbers, I'm waiting for the overnight numbers, but as of last night, it was looking pretty good. So, we got 5,500 last week in the middle of a cyclone. So I think we can get about 1,000 more with some good weather.
Is there a player, as you look back at the season, which obviously hasn't finished yet, but is there a player that has perhaps stood out to you from your roster that has maybe symbolised what this rebuild, this return home has been about?
Yeah, I'll mention 2 players because I think tonight's going to come down to 2 guys. Everyone's going to have to play well, but I think when you look at Jarrell Brantley, what he's done, I thought it was criminal that he wasn't in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I also can't believe he didn't make first or second team. But when we built our team, we knew we needed really high-quality character guys. And JB is that. He's been our leader all year. He's the one who has kept us focused. He's the one who's kept our eyes on the prize even when we had the no game for a month with COVID. And then the other guy, I think, is Tom Abercrombie. He's such a big part of everything we do. He's such an amazing partner these last 5 years. It hasn't been an easy few years for him, 2 years, living in Australia away from his family. So I'm very happy for him. I expect Tom to play well tonight. And I think, our success tonight will be driven by how Jarrell Brantley played.
Mody Maor's been a key figure, obviously, in coaching this season with Dan Shamir leaving in the off-season. Just describe to us, and I suppose we hear quotes from Mody Maor, but what's your take on what he's like as a person, what he's like as a coach, and how he's managed to steer this team to where they've got to so far?
I think he's done a phenomenal job. When I met Mody 4 years ago and when Dan elected to leave last year, I think in a lot of ways Dan laid the foundation for our success. So I don't want that to be overlooked. Dan came in and totally changed our organization. And unfortunately, we had that phenomenal success in 1920, going 11-3 in the second half of the year, and then COVID hit. So, I wrote Dan at the beginning of the playoffs that I was sad that he wasn't a part of this, but I expected a little bit more growing pains from Mody, just, in being a head coach in the NBL for the first time. And we haven't had any of that. I knew what kind of character Mody was and what he has as a person. I knew that he would get the belief in the players because he works so hard and because he knows basketball so well. But I think he's done a phenomenal job getting the most out of every guy on a roster. You see Rob Lowe's been rejuvenated this year. Tom Bodanovich has been great. What he's done with Will McDowell-White, Ryan Rupert. So I think it's really a testament to him, and not only him, but the rest of the staff. So from, being CEO and owner of the club, I could not ask for anything more from Mody or our staff.
What do you feel needs to happen tonight? You mentioned a couple of key players before. What do you think needs to happen tonight? What are the strengths of the Breakers to get through to this grand final?
Well, it was funny. Towards the end of the regular season, we were a little bit banged up. I was talking with Modi, and he said, he's like, we hold them to 75 points. And this was ahead of one of our last games. I think maybe Melbourne or one of those games said, we hold them to 75 points. It doesn't matter what happens on offense. So I think our identity this season has been defense all year. So I think tonight's going to come down to two things. One, we're going to have to really defend. There'll be some nerves from both teams. And then two, they're going to be trapping the ball. We just need to make open shots. And I think, again, that's why playing at home is so advantageous, because the role players, the guys who are going to need to come in and make 2 of 3 shots in 10 minutes, I think those guys will be up for it. So I think two things to watch tonight. One, we're going to have to defend. And two, they're going to give us open shots out of the traps, and we're just going to have to make open threes. And if we do that, and this is my prediction for the game, I think we're going to win going away.
Fantastic. The All-Star weekend, lots of NBA players have obviously come through the next-gen system, but what's the sense as you are at this All-Star weekend about where the Australian League sits now and what kind of place it has in the worldwide basketball landscape, perhaps compared to a few years ago?
It's incredible, Elliott. I remember when I first bought the team in 2018, with all due respect to the league, and people were asking me, like, what are you doing? It's so far away. And now we're widely accepted as the second best league in the world. And, I proudly wear my Breakers gear everywhere I go. And everywhere I go, guys are stopping me, talking about Ryan Rupert, talking about Usman from last year, RJ Hampton, talking about guys like LaMelo and Josh Giddey. So it's really exciting. We hoped for the growth of the league to continue. And I think, there's no question. Everywhere I go here at All-Star Weekend, not just NBA teams and personnel, but people are stopping me going, oh, wow, I love Usman, or, oh, Ryan Rupert looks like he's going to be a great player, or are you guys playing NBA preseason next year? So we really are like a global basketball entity, and that makes me proud for, all of New Zealand, because, I think we're kind of the benchmark for professional sport in New Zealand.
Well, I'll ask you, are you going to be playing NBA preseason next season?
We are. So I can't. Well, this is what I'll say. It's going to be by far and away our most exciting NBA preseason. I think people are going to be blown away when they hear who we're playing. And we're going to be playing 2 games in October, so very exciting.
Wow. In terms of the planning for next season, you mentioned the next-gen players that have come and gone. We obviously expect, and Ryan Rupert is going to be taken high in the NBA draft. So how far down the track are you perhaps getting another next-gen player for the roster next season?
Yeah, we're going to have one for sure. And I think what we've been able to do with our Next Star program is, we found a way to integrate. It's going to be tough to find another guy like Ryan just in terms of his work ethic and team-first attitude. But we know what we're looking for now. We need guys who are going to have that attitude, come in, be about winning, just like Ryan. Because, we're not interested in just being a team where guys come in and then they go on and play in the NBA. We want to win, and we've been the first team this year to have a Next Star play significant minutes and make the playoffs. So that's what we want to do. We're going to have a very high-level Next Star. And the good thing is we've had such a run of success that we have players and agents coming to us now saying, hey, I'd like to place my player with you guys because of how much success you've had. So we're in a pretty good position. And I think at the end of the day, having a guy like Ryan who can contribute, who sits kind of outside the roster, is a big advantage for us.
Breakers own it. CEO Matt Walsh with us on the program from Utah. Final thought, Matt, hours out from tip-off. What would it mean for this club to return to the grand final after a few years away?
Oh, it's everything. When we bought the team, we wanted to carry on the winning legacy that the Blackwells built. And I think this year we made a real focus to get back to Breakers basketball, tough-minded team built around Kiwis. So, look, I'm really excited for the game. It's going to mean a lot. No matter what, it's been a phenomenal season. But I think guys like Tom Abercrombie, Will McDowell-White, Rob Lowe, Modi, our commercial staff, people who've gone through these last 2 years of COVID, I think they really deserve it. I think we put ourselves in a really good position. And I think tonight, Spark Arena is going to be pumping, and we're going to go out there and have a really good game.
Well, Matt Walsh, enjoy watching it from afar. Hopefully there's not too much pacing in your hotel room. Look forward to hopefully the club being at a grand final and catching up again soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Elliott. We'll talk soon.
Hello, I'm Francesca Rudkin.
And I'm Louise Airy, and we're excited to be working with the New Zealand Herald on our new podcast, The Little Things.
So Louise and I have been friends for probably over 13 years now, and we've been through it all: kids, relationships, health crises.
Menopause.
Let's not get into that just yet.
But I think we can both agree that there are times we just wish we had one place to go for some explanations on what's going on with our bodies, our kids, and the relationships in our lives.
And this podcast is all about those little things that women need to know about getting older, raising kids, staying healthy, and taking care of yourself at whatever age and stage you're at.
So join us every Saturday to hear from the experts and get all the advice and tips you need.
Listen to The Little Things at nzherald.co.nz or follow us at iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.